Absolutely not. As a matter of fact, I never would have imposed a mask mandate. And I would go far beyond that and say that I would never impose a mandate on the people of West Virginia at all, period, ever. As the governor is also known as the chief executive of the state government, which means that he is the chief of the executive branch of the government. Well, as you guys all know, there are three branches of the government. There's the executive, there's the legislative, there's the judiciary. So the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court is the chief of the Supreme Court and of the lower courts in our state anyway, the way it's organized. So the chief of the executive branch is just that. He's the leader of the executive branch of the government. So if you are not an employee of the executive branch of the West Virginia state government, you don't work for Jim Justice. He's not your boss. He's not in charge of you. As a matter of fact, it's quite the opposite. He works for you. You don't work for him, he works for you. So here's the thing. He is literally your elected employee. We, the people, hired him to manage the executive branch of the government. He only has authority over the executive branch of the government. So if we don't work for the executive branch, we don't work for him. He can't tell us what to do. Now, okay, you guys probably know that I spent a long time in the Army, and I actually used to train young officers, and I taught military leadership. And the thing is, there are a couple of different kinds of leadership. Well, there are a bunch of different kinds of leadership, but it breaks down into two major categories in my philosophy of leadership. One is delegated authority, okay? And that is the formal authority that you get with a title or an office or a rank or whatever, and that comes with written regulations on how it works and what's expected of you and all that kind of stuff. And there are very formalized structures to maintain your authority and to hold you accountable for operating in that authority effectively. So like as a company commander, there are certain requirements for a company commander that I had to meet. So as a man with authority, I was also under authority. Okay? That's delegated authority, otherwise known as directorial supervision. In other words, I can say, you go there, do this. Jim Justice only has directorial supervision, only has delegated authority, and it's delegated from you, by the way, through the Constitution. All right? We, the people, delegate our authority to Jim Justice so that he can direct the activities of the executive branch of the state government. Okay? And if you read, I think it's section 3-22 of the West Virginia Constitution, you can look it up and correct me if I'm wrong, but it says that all authority is derived from the people, the citizens of West Virginia. That's it. That's it. He can't do anything without your authority. And you have been deprived of the opportunity to give your consent because your legislature has not been called into session. It's really that simple. So the other type of authority is personal authority, or what we like to call influence, right? So influence